Thanks guys for coming back for week 2 of Cooking with Mr. Chris, and this week we're going to be making chocolate chip banana bread. Now we're going to use regular flour, but if you wanted to make this gluten-free, all you're going to have to do is substitute gluten-free flour for regular flour in this recipe. Everything else is gluten-free. So let's get started. Before we get started, let's go through what ingredients and tools we're going to need and how much of each so we know if we have them here before you get started. So here are the ingredients that you're going to need.
Okay, here are the ingredients that we're going to need. We're going to need a half a cup of butter, softened, which is 1 stick. 1 cup of sugar, white sugar. 2 eggs. 3 or 4 bananas. You can use 3 or 4 depending on how moist you want it. 1.5 cups of flour. 1 teaspoon baking soda. And you have your optional chocolate chips. Your cooking tools, you're gonna need a large bowl to mix all of your wet ingredients, small bowl for your baking soda and your flour that you'll mix. You're gonna need measuring cups and spoons for your teaspoons and tablespoons, a mixing spoon to mix all together, a loaf pan, and an oven. So let's get started.
First thing we're going to add is 1 cup of sugar. So get out your measuring cup and measure out 1 cup of sugar. Now we need to add a half a stick of butter. A half a stick of butter is 8 tablespoons, which is 1 stick. So 1 stick of butter is a half a cup. But we need to soften it. So I'm going to drop it in this measuring cup and we're going to microwave it for like 20, 30 seconds, okay? Now we're going to crack 2 eggs in here. So get out 2 eggs. Next part is, you have 4 bananas that are really, you don't want to eat these, a little overripe. Well, we're going to peel these and put these nice soft bananas in there and mix it all up. Okay, now you have to add 1.5 cups of flour. So let's measure out 1.5 cups of flour. All right, so you have your 1.5 cups of flour. You're gonna put this in a separate bowl for now. You're gonna mix it down in here. And then your last ingredient you're gonna mix with this flour is your baking soda. So your baking soda called for 1 teaspoon. And I only have a half a teaspoon. So I'm gonna do 2 scoops of baking soda into the flour, and then I'm slowly just going to take this. You can use a whisk or you can just mix it around. You want to get that baking soda mixed in with the flour. Now we're going to add this flour to our wet mix. Now, my favorite ingredient, those chocolate chips. So I have measured out 1 cup of chocolate chips, but if you wanted to add 1.5 cups or 2 cups, that would also work. So just mix these chocolate chips right into that mix. More steps before we put it in the oven. First is you want to get your loaf pan out. Usually by 13 by 9, it can be metal or glass, but you want to put a little bit of grease in there. You could spray, if you have spray, I like to take a little bit of butter and you just rub that around the sides to help it so it doesn't stick. Okay, now once that's in, you have your mix. You're gonna pour your mix right in here. Now, sure you have your oven mitt on. Put in the oven. It should be preheated to 350 and it's gonna cook for 55 minutes. So make sure you set your timer. And I'm gonna set mine for 50, and then I'm gonna come take a look at it. Oh, went a little by. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna come check on those in 50 minutes. I'm gonna put a toothpick in them and see if they're all set. I'll check back in 50 minutes. Okay, so the timer went off. Let's check that banana bread. Ooh, that looks good. So you're gonna want to take it out. You're gonna let it cool, and make sure these edges aren't sticking. And then after it cools, you'll be ready to take it out and eat it. So, thank you for joining me on Cooking with Mr. Chris, chocolate chip banana bread. See you next time.